The ARB and the RIBA, which most of you watching will or should know that they both have codes of conduct and disciplinary rules. So the codes of conduct set out the conduct expected of members of the organization, so the behaviors and standards of practice. The disciplinary rules set out how any accusations that the standards have been breached will be investigated. So the codes are about the actual standards, and the rules are about how complaints about those standards will be investigated. An important thing to note is with regards to the code of conduct, when it comes to a complaint that's made, the code that will be relevant will be the code that was in place at the time the conduct occurred. The disciplinary rules that will apply will be based on when the complaint was registered. So, for example, if a complaint was made in July 2019, then the 2019 RIBA Code of Conduct would apply. If the complaint was actually made in January 2022, then the RIBA 2021 disciplinary procedures will apply because those are the rules in place at that relevant time. So you'll see on the screen I have a little bit of a snapshot of the two codes. You have the 2017 code, which is the most recent ARB code, and prior to that there was 2010. For the RIBA, there was the 2021 codes. Prior to that, 2019, and prior to that, 2005. It's important to note that these are principles-based code. So while they do provide some prescriptive elements that you do have to abide by, there are otherwise more about your professional judgment and giving you sufficient information for you to be able to decide what you do in a specific instance to ensure that you comply with what's expected of you under these codes. So that is the important thing to note there. And lastly, I just wanted to touch a little bit on this thematically. So there are some members who feel these processes are overly onerous. Members feel like they're being attacked on behalf of the public. The public feel like organizations pull up the drawbridge to protect the members, and that some complaints are dealt with in a disproportionately serious way. While I certainly understand these concerns, what I will say is you have to kind of step outside of yourself and think about the role of these organizations and these functions in the broader context. As we spoke about, professionals have a certain skill set that has to be used responsibly because they have skills and knowledge and experience that lay people don't. And so these organizations have to develop and maintain standards, sometimes across multiple jurisdictions globally, which is incredibly challenging. So while different cases may proceed at different rates and different outcomes, ultimately they all have to be treated with a certain level of seriousness to ensure that an objective approach is taken when investigating these complaints.